I have.
Yes.
एंटीगा बारबुडा में छुप कर रह रहे, भाग कर रह रहे मेहुल चोक्सी को डोमिनिका में गिरफ्तार किया गया है और इस पूरे मामले पर बातचीत करने के लिए आज हमारे साथ एंटीगा बारबुडा के प्राइम मिनिस्टर गैस्टन ब्राउन है. सो वेलकम टू एबीपी न्यूज. And first of all, I would want to have your reaction that Indian economic offender Mehul Choksi, who was residing in Antigua Barbuda in your country, has been caught in Dominica, another Caribbean country. How do you see this development as, and what will be your next course of action?
Right, so a very interesting development. Evidently, he absconded Antigua and Barbuda, perhaps felt that he may have found safe harbor in Dominica. But as you're aware, we had put out an Interpol green notice listing him as a missing person. So he was actually found in Dominica, and the Dominican government is now making arrangements to have him repatriated. We have said to the Dominican authorities, though, not to repatriate him to Antigua, where he has constitutional and legal protections, but to have him deported directly to India. So it would appear that Mr. Choksi may have outdone himself in that, you know, here's a situation in which he would have obviously absconded and gone to another country with the hope that, you know, he could have literally gotten further protections, maybe anonymity, and he was actually identified. And clearly he doesn't enjoy those legal and constitutional protections in Dominica. So I believe unless there's any unforeseen legal problems, that he should be deported easily back to India without any major legal problems.
So what is the status of his citizenship? Because since he has taken legal course, he is an Antigua Barbuda citizen. So what will be the status of his citizenship? Because there have been reports that his citizenship or his CIP, the investment-based citizenship, is being revoked by the Antigua Barbuda government. So can you please clarify on that, Stanza?
That's correct, but he enjoys a stay of execution because the matter is still before the courts. In fact, he has two cases before the Antiguan and Barbudan courts. One is for the revocation of the citizenship, and the second one is for his extradition. So he's been able to skillfully use the court system in order to delay the process. We had no doubt, though, that he would have eventually exhausted his appeals, and that ultimately his citizenship would have been revoked, and that he would have been repatriated. So again, it was just a matter of time.
Sir, I remember interviewing you in New York in September 2019, and you categorically said that Antigua Barbuda government is committed as far as you know, this case is concerned. You do not want any economic offender to be residing and using the provisions of Antigua Barbuda to make you know, to hide in Antigua Barbuda. So in this case, now you have requested the Dominica government. But did you get any assurance that now Dominican, the government authorities in Dominica, another Caribbean country, is going to repatriate, not repatriate Mehul Choksi to Antigua Barbuda and rather deport him to India? Did you get any confirmation?
Yes, we were given verbal assurances, and that is why we feel confident that he will be repatriated to India directly from Dominica.
And if I may ask you, on this, that if he makes an appeal before any Dominican court or any other court, will you categorically say that you do not want Mehul Choksi to come back to Antigua Barbuda again?
Well, with all fairness, we can't stop a citizen from re-entering the country. Legally and constitutionally, we have no such authority. So we have asked the Dominican government to do us a favor. Since he now has dual citizenship, instead of sending him back to Antigua, send him back to India.
And last thing, if you can tell us that, you know, in last 3 days when he has been reported missing from Antigua Barbuda, what steps did you take? You said that you asked Interpol to issue a notice, and how did you coordinate, and how did you get this information about his arrest from the Dominican authorities?
Well, you know, we're relatively close islands. A lot of Dominicans reside here in Antigua. In fact, about 15% of our population comprises Dominicans. So, you know, you would have chosen the wrong country.
So India and Antigua enjoys a close relation, a close friendly partnership. What would be your message to people in India, those who were concerned about, Mehul Choksi using the Antigua Barbuda rules and provisions to hide in Antigua Barbuda or the Caribbean space? So what will be your message to people in India?
Yeah, you know, Antigua and Barbuda is a well-governed country. We have a citizenship by investment program in which we are seeking to attract wealthy people to invest in our country. But we're looking for law-abiding citizens, not individuals who would want to become a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda in order to avoid, let's say, law enforcement in India. And we believe too that the relationship between both our countries is so strong that Antigua and Barbuda represents a great country for investments. But again, we want to make sure that we get individuals who have good character, fit and proper investors, not individuals who are trying to avoid the law. And again, the Indian people can be assured of the full support of the Antiguan government on various issues. In fact, let me also extend our empathy on the COVID situation in India. We continue to pray for the Indian people. And I also want to thank Prime Minister Modi once again for that act of benevolence in which he made over 500,000 vaccines available to the Caribbean people, which in essence would have avoided or precluded us from enduring maybe tens of thousands of deaths, premature deaths as a result of COVID. So we thank him sincerely for that very important act of benevolence. And again, I think that the bilateral relationship between the Indian and Antiguan governments is at its zenith, and we wish to see this relationship grow even closer.
Thank you very much for spending your time, sir. And we hope that the India and Antigua Barbuda relationship remains strong and such economic offenders never be able to take advantage of the investment program in Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you very much for talking to ABP News.
Absolutely not. Thank you. Cheers. Good.
Thank you. Cheers.